As creative director Amazon Alexa and Devices brand, Silvia develops the story and the vision for the product. From online experience, packaging, marketing campaigns, media, social media, PR, experiential activation for global customers, this is all she's involved with. So if this all speaks to you, then stay on and listen to this episode of Job Tales. Thank you so much, Silvia, for being here with me at the Job Tales podcast. Today is a very interesting episode, an interview with you, creative director, Amazon Alexa and Devices brand. So I'd like to decipher a little bit this long title and see what do you do at your present job?
Thank you. Pleasure to be here and help other people figure out their career. So if I have to say what I do in one statement, I help companies translating their marketing and sales strategies around a product into meaningful visual experiences for customers, online and offline experiences that drive growth through sales and, most importantly, brand love. But the real answer is much longer. I work on global marketing campaigns to launch new products. As a creative director, we develop a story and a vision for the product. We work on brand identity and visual expression across all customers' touch points, from online experiences, I said, to packaging, to marketing campaigns on media and social media, PR, and experiential activations for global customers. And as a creative director, you are first and foremost a leader. You have to understand business. One of the myths of my profession is, you do beautiful, you go just do, beautiful design, but it's not just that. Like we really are leaders and really have to understand marketing. We partner with product managers, software engineers, researchers, and marketing strategists to really understand the data behind customer behaviors and how the product we're selling makes the customer's life better. We partner with marketing to shape that vision behind the product. And with the help of a creative team, we translate strategy into meaningful and sometimes informative, sometimes innovative visual experiences for customers through a clear communication and design. So you really have to be a leader, but also a storyteller, a salesperson. You have to sell an idea so your colleagues in the room can imagine how that could be executed and drive sales. And you have to earn trust with your peers. And most importantly, you have to be a people person. As a creative director, we manage or supervise a team of creatives, super talented art directors, copywriter, 3D designers, motion designers, sound designers, editors.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot. And
It's a lot.
you're like a conductor. You have to know what each one of those people are doing or can do, and sometimes you have to also manage external production companies that have to help your team execute on that vision.
Right, because I was gonna ask are you did you start somewhere? Because of course, you're mentioning a lot of different professional profiles. Where did you start, and then that took you to then become a creative director?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. Everybody starts somewhere.
Somewhere.
Uh, I started I studied design at the European Institute of Design, Istituto
Okay.
Europeo di Design in Rome, and I thought I wanted to be a copywriter, an agency copywriter,
Okay.
and I never became one. Meaning, I was super lucky to get my first job straight out of school, straight out of design school. It was 2003, and I was hired at Fox International when Fox was about to make history and launch its entertainment channels on Sky. And so I was hired as a writer producer. That was the role. Now it's probably called like on-air video producer. I was tasked with writing, trailers and, watch hours and hours of footage, select the best scenes, read the storyline, write a trailer. And then the great thing is that you had to write, but then you also had to like guide the whole process. So you had to pitch it, you had to have it approved from your creative director, then you have to work side by side with an editor, video editor, a sound designer, a graphic designer if motion graphic was involved, and you had to ultimately deliver it on air. And so
Hmm.
it was a lot of responsibility beyond just writing, and that gave me the opportunity to learn every step of the way, from an idea written on paper to final execution.
Okay, that's interesting because when I think of IED, the European Institute of Design, I'm thinking industrial design. But you actually, I understand you studied more on the, video production, writing, and another kind of design. Are there different branches?
So at that time, they formed you in a way that you could go out, graduate and then join an advertising agency and do the art director slash copywriter
I see.
job. But I was super lucky that Fox was actually hiring at that time. And so I landed in media and television, and that's how I learned, the video language and sound design and general motion language. I didn't learn that in school.
I see.
The school gave me the opportunity to have a great portfolio to then go out and show my talent at that time.
Okay. And it's interesting what you said. Like your initial idea was something completely else. And this is what I would like, where I'd like to help young people who are listening to this podcast to understand. Like, I have an idea, I have a more or less a feeling of what I want to do in life. And then I take that path and then it changes. So for you, why did you feel that you wanted to become a copywriter?
That's a great question. I thought I was first off, I've always been kind of like, as an introverted kid growing up in Sicily. I've always been I was spending a lot of time alone and just drawing and generally like writing stories. I think a shift happened when I met someone that worked as a copywriter in an agency.
Hmm.
And so I thought I wanted to become a copywriter, but then I was also I thought I was missing something on the other side, which was the power of visual
Mm.
design. And so I kind of learned both at that time. But then, when you join a company, you're either, you do your own thing as they want to put you in a box somehow. And
Hmm.
so the copywriter is the storyteller, but the copywriter doesn't design. The art director is the one that design, and
I
and
see.
and I wanted to do both, and that's why I got very lucky with Fox International, because as a copywriter, I was also in charge of moving images and shaping a story through images and sound and graphics. And so that kind of like opened my horizon and possibilities.
I see. And do you find that experience you gained at Fox is has been relevant for your present job?
Oh, absolutely, because as a creative director, you have to be able to understand what each one of your creative colleagues are doing or can do. So say you have a project and you definitely need someone that writes ideas or comes up with ideas, and so you couple an art director and a copywriter. And then in the execution phase, you definitely need, if there is video involved, you definitely need to collaborate with a director or production company. And then there is the the editing, post production. So it was fundamental to who I am now as a professional,
Mm-hmm.
because at 21, I was literally just running from an edit suite to a sound design suite to finish up a project. So it's really about like always striving to have those stretch projects. You might
Yeah.
not feel like completely prepared, but then you nail it, or you fail, but then you learn. So it really gave me an overview of, what a creative director actually does, which is, know what other people do and orchestrate, like be a really like
Right.
a
Like
conductor.
right, like an orchestra director.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and giving some concrete examples, for whatever you can, of course, you can disclose about the products that you're dealing with. What would be like a daily process in your professional life today about Amazon Alexa or other devices that you're dealing with?
Yeah, so the great thing about my job is that I don't really have a typical work day.
Okay, that's
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, so we have a process. So what's exciting about my job is that every day is different. So because we have to move so fast, for example, I am part of a relatively small team of people from all sorts of background, specialized in different disciplines from 3D to graphic design, motion design. We have brand designers, brand experts, copywriters, art directors, and all creative directors on my team are really hands on. So I really enjoy that I get to direct a team, or supervise a team, but I also get to do the actual work hands on. So sometimes we have projects kickoffs where we get to know more about a product that is being launched, and the benefits for the customers. This process is usually called a discovery process,
Yeah.
where we get to know insights and pain points for the customer. That leads us to a strategy phase where we closely collaborate with brand strategy and marketing, where we really distill key audience and product insights into a creative brief, which is our unique source of truth,
The Bible of.
the Bible for creatives and
Right.
marketers. And when it's done very well, like at Amazon, you have laid out the brand purpose of that product and what the end benefit is for the customer, and that drives the rest of the process. So the creative brief drives the rest of the process. And then you have the design phase where we shape messaging and visuals across the customer experience online, which include online and offline. So you work on brand identity, then you applied it on packaging, offline retail, and really across all cultural touch points, media, social media, PR, and experiential activations. So that's really exciting.
Okay, what's experiential activation?
Experiential activation could be something that, for example, you do in person. It could be, you you rent a park to drive a specific experience around a product that you're launching, or you meet the customers where, your audience where they are, and you built around it all sorts of experiences, so they can actually, test the product, and talk about the product.
Okay, and you were also mentioning before we started the interview AI. How does that interact with the product?
So some products I work with are powered by AI, and as a creatives at this very stage, most of our work is actually around clarifying what that specific product and artificial intelligence does for you.
Okay.
normal person. So
Normal
um,
people.
I
Human
am a
beings.
normal human being, and I have some incredible devices here at home that I control with my voice and my presence. Another really interesting thing about, so really you have to create clarity around such a complex concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so if people have concerns, you have people that have concerns about their privacy.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to really clarify how our products work. And then how you can have you can mute your button, you can do all sorts of things, so you have a wake word when you want specifically Alexa to interact with you. So
Right.
you have to reassure your customers that they're safe with our products.
Okay. Well, there's so many questions I'd like to ask. I would like to, since we're talking about technology, AI, and how does technology affect your job and your future job? Like virtual reality, also cybersecurity, and any other future application, in this metaverse that we hear so much about.
Yeah, I don't know how the metaverse is going to work. Really interested to see who's
Mm.
going to, how Web3 is going to actually look like.
Mm-hmm.
What interests me is specifically applications such as, I think it's called Wall-E, where you basically input some words in a page on a page in a system, like, hey, I want to see aliens having brunch on the Hollywood Hills, and I want to see it in a style that it's in a Pablo Picasso style, right?
All
So you
right.
input those words, and after 3 seconds or 5 seconds, even less, you get images that are related to aliens having brunch on the Hollywood Hills in a Picasso style. So
My
it's
God.
what I love
Incredible.
is how AI can in the future help us creatives, reading laying out really helping us with brainstorming and ideas that we then can perfection from a design standpoint. Or how you can train AI. Say you're an illustrator, you're training AI to execute illustrations in your style. So that's what fascinates me about AI specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I hope AI won't take over my job. I don't think I'm gonna see it in my lifetime. I know that it's a possibility, but I think it's gonna be really helpful for creatives.
Do you have a lesson that you've learned over the course of the years that others could benefit from? Something that you know now that if you had known sooner or earlier, you would have done things differently.
So I wish someone told me that if you wanna have a career as a creative, and so, classic career, you start as a copywriter or director or whatever, graphic designer, video editor, and you wanna walk up the ladder and become a creative director and lead teams, you have to be a people person.
Mm.
You have to, not just be excellent at what you do as a creative and innovate. That's actually at the bottom of this
The
of
priority list.
the priority list. You have to be interested in business. You have to do your homework. You have to know your audience, work along, partner with marketing and strategy, and really be a great storyteller, because ultimately you have to sell your idea to a bunch of people that are not creatives,
Mm.
and they have to really be able to imagine what you're telling them and how the product will perform thanks to your idea, your team's idea. And so be really prepared to explain why the idea works for that audience, how it delivers against their needs, and how that idea adds meaning and how it ladders up to the brand. So really, you need to be good at all this. So stop being, I don't want to say stop being an introvert because I am an introverted person, but, get out of your cubicle, get out of your room and go out, create partnerships, see what's up, hear ideas and strategies, and read a lot of, leadership and business books. Be interested beyond just design. And also another thing is be open to criticism, receive feedback, and in a positive way, and be able to pivot your ideas and maintaining the same exact level of bar raising creative.
I see. That's excellent. Yeah.
Did I say
Advice.
too many things?
No, it's good. Yeah, the more the better. So, any other advice you could give to the people who are listening, like who would like to enter your line of work?
I would say, a lot of creatives didn't go to school, didn't go to design school. I think a lot of successful creatives didn't. But what I'm seeing, the trend that I'm seeing is, say you don't know exactly what to do, you're a creative person, really read what the job posts are looking for. Most of the job posts I read require a bachelor degree or an MBA. Sometimes it's just
Wow,
crazy.
really?
So I think it's really important to, if you can, go to school. Have, one of the greatest things about the European Institute of Design, which was very different from other schools, is that your teachers were actual professionals. And so you could, you had homework, but also you had a figure there ready to help you, to explain how the industry works. And at the end of the day, you really have to have a beautiful portfolio that shows your creative talent and go out and sell yourself.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's great that actually that you could do that because oftentimes schools are quite detached from real life professions.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes, absolutely.
that's awesome. Maybe that's also why the IED is so successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's great. And very fun thing to ask is like, what do you enjoy most about your profession that you cannot, renounce?
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot that I enjoy. Probably storytelling. The storytelling and create something from scratch is what excites me.
Mm,
Um, from research to the creative inception and execution, there are myriads of steps and building blocks until final execution.
yeah.
So this is what I love. It's the story that you build around the customers and the benefits for the customers, brand love. And I actually like the process. So you have to drive concepting and consensus until the end. I love the fact that I work with so many disciplines. So, photographers, directors, sound designers, musicians. I love that. And I love to learn every day from people. And I also love that marketing is always changing. So, you have to, some people my age don't know how TikTok works.
Yeah,
And so
including
it's
me.
it, exactly. And
You need to
what's
adapt.
trending,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to adapt constantly, and that keeps you, young at heart.
That's true. Yeah, it keeps it fresh.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah. You never lower the guard because God knows, what's gonna come next decade or even like next year. Forget about the decade.
exactly,
Yeah, the
exactly.
speed is definitely very interesting nowadays. I don't know if you have other comments you would like to make. I've done my round of questions, and I'm very satisfied for all your answers, and I thank you very much for this. So
Oh, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for doing what you do. It's really important for people, for younger people. I would say, you're a young creative or want to be a creative, really try to get that, build up professional portfolio, always be curious and learn, and don't be afraid of failure, because failure is good for you. And if you are in an agency or a you know or part of a corporation, if you want to grow, always ask. Don't be afraid to ask for stretch projects that can excite you, and just take it from there.
Excellent. Thank you, Silvia. Thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Good luck for the rest of your career.
Thank you so much.
You're listening to Job Tales, the podcast that helps you figure out the job of your life. Or jobs, plural, as nothing in life is set in stone. I will be happy to receive your suggestions for who should be my next guest. Speak soon and bye from Laura.